Hello friends, welcome to Awdhesh Academy. Friends, one of the most important concepts which we should all know about writing an essay is the concept of the flow of the essay. Friends, many times when we write the essay, it is very haphazard. It looks like a cut and paste job. What we need is a flow of the essay. That means the essay should flow just like a river flows, so that it's very, very smooth and the reader enjoys the experience. So today we are going to learn about the flow of the essay. It is achieved by two methods. One is called coherence, other is called transition. And today is the first lesson of this chapter, and this is called coherence. So let's understand what is the meaning of the flow of the essay. Flow of an essay means the way an essay holds together and moves from point to point. Friends, we know that the size of the essay is around 1000 to 1200 words in the essay paper. To write so many words, which will be almost 6 to 7 pages of the written copy, it's not easy. And there are chances that you break the flow. There is no smooth sailing from one place to another. So when we talk about the flow of the essay, it means that something which keeps the essay together and it moves smoothly from point to point. We often put together all the facts, data and information in our essay and lose sight of their cohesion and synergy with each other. When we do the brainstorming, we generate lots of ideas. After that, when we start writing the essay, we keep on noting down the points as they come to our minds, as we have recapitulated in the brainstorming session. As a result, what happens that it looks disjoint. It looks unconnected with each other. And therefore, the reader finds it difficult to connect these pieces of information with each other and make a sense of it. In our own mind, it is very much clear because it is coming from one thought process. But as far as the reader is concerned, they find it very difficult to connect one thought from another, one sentence from another, and even within the sentence, they are unable to connect the different words. So there are basically two important things for developing flow in an essay. And this is coherence and transition. And today we are going to discuss about the first part of it, that is coherence. So what is the meaning of coherence? Coherence is basically the quality of forming a unified whole. That means the different things should be connected, stitched together as one whole thing. It means the connection and flow of the sentences and ideas smoothly. So when we write different sentences even within the same paragraphs, it has to smoothly transmit from one idea to another idea. If the essay lacks coherence, the reader may not be able to understand the ideas very easily. For example, if we take a sentence, Indians like Americans because they like democracy. Now this is a particular sentence where the word they, what we have used, is little confusing. Because we don't know whether they indicates to Indians or they indicate to Americans. And therefore, when we write this sentence, we have to keep in mind that they should not be used because it is creating ambiguity. Rather, we should use specific words. For example, Indians like Americans because Americans like democracy. So in this way, there is no confusion now because the words are now very clear. So this is the meaning of coherence. That means there is no confusion and we can understand the whole concept in a very clear manner. Now there are different methods to achieve coherence. And these methods are repetition of keywords, using transitional expressions, using pronouns, using synonyms, using parallel structures. So these are the 5 methods which we are going to discuss today. So let's come to the first method, and that is repetition of keywords. So just like what we have discussed earlier, the repetition of the keywords basically means that we should repeat the words to link ideas, sentences, and paragraphs. We should use nouns instead of pronouns in the sentences. The reason is that sometimes the pronouns may create confusion, and that is why we should use nouns. Now let us take an example. It is not easy to understand the culture of India. Indian culture have evolved over thousands of years due to synthesis of various cultures and tradition. Here you must have seen that we have avoided using the word it or this. So we have not used any pronoun here. We have rather reproduced the whole thing and we have said Indian culture again, so that there is no confusion, there is no scope of any ambiguity. And this looks very, very clear and cogent. Now the second type of method is using pronouns. In this case, what happens that we don't repeat the name in the same sentence. We use pronouns to connect with the previous nouns to eliminate the repetition. Because if you use the same word, particularly noun, again and again, in that case, the essay looks bad, the sentence looks bad, its beauty is lost. So let us now take an example. Mahatma Gandhi is one of the greatest leaders of the world. He used the weapon of truth and non-violence to give independence to India from the British rule. He lived a simple lifestyle and accumulated no wealth in his life. So here we can see that we have used the word he rather than Mahatma Gandhi, repeating when we are using it in the different sentences. So here we have used the pronouns rather than using the nouns. So this is another method. Now let's talk about the third method, and that is using transitional expressions. Sometimes the transitional expressions like however, moreover, therefore are useful to link ideas and sentences, particularly when two sentences are going to express different or maybe even opposite ideas. Now let us take one example. The civil services examination is one of the toughest examinations of the world. However, if you follow the right strategy, get the right guidance and work hard, you can get a top rank in the examination. Here you can see that we have used the word however here as a transitional sentence. Because with this word, we know that in the next sentence, we are going to write something very different than what we have written in the previous sentence. And so this type of transitional expressions can be used to give flow in a particular para. Now the fourth method is using synonyms. What happens that when we are writing the sentences, and if we are using the same word again and again, it does not look beautiful. Writing looks boring and monotonous if the same words are used again and again. We must rather use synonyms to avoid repetition, break monotony, and make the writing interesting and beautiful. Let us now take an example. The life of the teenagers are not easy in the modern times. These young adults may have more freedom as compared to their previous generations, but they also have much stiffer competition today than ever before. Here you can see that instead of using teenager again in the second sentence, we have used the word young adults, which is carrying the same meaning as the teenagers. So this way, the sentence and the para looks more beautiful. Instead of using the teenagers again, if we are using a synonym of teenager, we are making a better presentation of our ideas. So this is one of the very interesting methods of making a smooth transition and make a flow in the particular essay. Now we'll take the fifth method, and that is using parallel structure. We should learn to express similar ideas using parallel structure to match words, phrases, clauses, or sentences. Now let's take the example 1. As the lockdown has been announced by the Government of India for 3 weeks, due to COVID-19, most people are spending their time home, playing cards, talking to each other on phone, watching television, and surfing internet aimlessly. Here you can see that we are using parallel structure, like spending, playing, talking, watching, surfing. Here we should not use sometime spending, sometime played, sometime talked, like that. So that is the meaning of the parallel structure. Let's take the second example. However, the cops attended their work as usual, took round of the city, apprehended the criminals, and kept surveillance on the antisocial elements of the city. Here we can see that we have used the words like attended, took, apprehended, kept, which are again representing the parallel structure. So friends, these are the 5 methods which we can use for giving flow by using the method coherence. So friends, when we are writing essay or when we are writing answers, we should keep this in mind that there should be coherence in our writing, because that is going to make your writing more beautiful, more presentable, and full of flow. So I hope that you understood the concept of coherence very well. In the next chapter, we'll learn about the transition. Thank you very much.